Hey guys, this is the Hard Time Strongmen podcast, training up a better class of man, and today we are diving a little bit more into our situational awareness series with parking lots slash garages slash structured slash coned off areas, anywhere that you park your vehicle, just general considerations and how you can stay more aware for you and everyone that's counting on you. But
So the whole
first,
reason,
quick shout out to Critter1371. Goodness, 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 goodness. I hope you never recover from that.
so
Guys, check out our Discord. It's open all the time.
the whole reason for that was because Critter proposed a drinking game where every time Seven says goodness, you take a drink, a shot, whatever. Bad mistake, buddy.
It's my chosen euphemism. I'm not going to change that. Anyway, this is
That's
an
okay
important
because
thing. So we did like 2 episodes on situational awareness, and then
something like
we
that.
got caught along the way. But no, so incredibly important. We've gotten a lot of questions from this, just from family, from friends, from viewers over the past year, and honestly, a lot of the stuff you probably already know. Somebody probably already told you. But if they did not, this is stuff that you can use, your family can use. This is just, you know, the world we live in.
The
Where
whole
we're at right
reason,
now, this is scary. It sucks. And there's a lot of human trafficking, a lot of just not good things going on. So anything that we can do to keep you better prepared and to keep your head up and eyes open, we're going to do.
yeah, the whole reason we're doing this is because human trafficking has been on the rise lately. And I'm not saying it's just like it's been a steady increase. It's been like shocking. There's even been a movie that came out, like a couple weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
What was that?
The sound of freedom.
Sound of Freedom. And holy crap, apparently this is calling into question a lot of things about what even like the CIA and all sorts of other things. Apparently the CIA
Mm-hmm.
runs the biggest human trafficking ring known to mankind, allegedly. I'll
July
throw that in
4th.
there.
July 4th of this year is when it came out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, and that's specifically talking about the trafficking of children.
Mm. Sex trafficking and just human trafficking in general is much higher on the number. I'm actually trying to run down the exact number, but it seems like, I mean, here's one from what was it, 2021? Yeah, so 2021 there was 10,359 situations of human trafficking that were just reported
Think about
to
how
the
many
hotline.
that are not.
Right.
I
And
mean, think
that's
about how many people
insanity.
who don't have a good home life or don't have good friends. They drop off the face of the earth. Oh, he must have taken that job on the oil rig. Oh, she must have, moved off to that city. Oh, fill in the blank.
Yeah,
This is something that it's very scary
it
if you
is.
have loved ones. Which,
And
if you're listening to this podcast right now, I'm assuming that you do,
yeah,
right?
hug
But
your loved ones.
this is this is a crime. This is an atrocity. This is a nightmare scenario where everything could be going exactly how it has for your entire life, and then one day you're waiting home after you got off work, and your wife doesn't come home from getting the groceries after school,
Mm. And it can happen as quick as that.
or your daughter
There's a
doesn't get on the school bus, or whatever nightmare scenario you can come up with. And especially think about border towns.
right.
You live off the highway, 5 minutes away from a border to a state or another country or wherever, and this is real. This is a real scenario for what, millions of people.
Hmm. Around the world, absolutely. So the
So
three biggest uh, states, I mean, the offenders, I guess, the three biggest offenders for human trafficking. And I will
In the
say that
United
because
States.
in the United States are California, Texas, and Florida. And I'm ashamed to say that my state is on there, but I can understand that considering we're right on the water and we're just a stone's throw from Cuba.
I know exactly why my state is on there.
Yeah, you're right by the freaking cartels.
Yeah. But I mean, this is, the nightmare scenario for, if you're a man with a family,
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything worse,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, this is your family. So why we're specifically tackling parking lots, parking structures, buildings, insert the blank, is because, especially in the States, your day to day life will more often than not revolve around your vehicle.
Right.
Right. That is what our infrastructure is built around. So wherever you park that vehicle, that's where you're getting your groceries. That's where you're going to school, to work, going to, from. There is so much time spent in those spaces. And a lot of, if you're not, you know, mentally clicked on, that is a place where you will have your guard down because you're thinking, oh man, I just had, this day at work. I can't wait to go home. Oh, I'm gonna have to deal with this traffic. Oh, you know, as you're getting into your vehicle, and that's such a vulnerable place for you to be.
Yes, 100%. I was actually about to mention that is probably one of your most vulnerable moments is when you're getting into your vehicle, you're getting your child into your vehicle, you're getting your groceries into your vehicle.
Yeah.
That's where you get hit. And there's a video, I don't know if you've seen this, of it's a video taken outside of this guy's house where it shows like the end of his driveway or whatever, but it takes you can see his truck and where his wife parks their van and then down the street. And moral of the story here, long story short, there's a white van that parks down the street
Mm.
and it just watches them day after day after day. And then the wife goes to get the groceries, it follows her. And then when she comes back, you see this you see this white man come speeding down and park right behind her so she
Oh
can't
my
get out.
gosh.
It's in their driveway.
Oh my gosh.
And the only reason why she didn't get taken
Taken.
was because A, she stayed in her vehicle, and B, her husband came out into the garage and they saw him and took off. So
Yeah.
if you want a long story short, men, be a threat.
Yeah.
So
100%. So let's talk about that a little bit. Okay. So going from let's say the natural progression of things, right? So insert your adjective, whatever place you were in, right? So driving in a parking area, let's say. Okay. So what are just some safety considerations? What are just some, normal defensive driving, situationally minded, uh, I guess, tips or considerations when you're driving in one of these areas? So anybody that's new to driving knows that it can be incredibly overstimulating and, complicated if you're not used to it. There's a lot of angles, a lot of moving parts. So what's some things that people can think about while driving in a parking area?
no, for me, I'm watching for I mean, obviously you're watching for cars that are getting ready to pull out, lights that are on, backup lights. One of the things you probably need to look for, and more often than not, it's innocuous. It's not a threat. I watch for people on their cell phones. I watch for people
Mm,
that are walking through parking garages, looking around, like almost nervous like, or paying too close attention to certain things. I mean, that's kind of hypervigilance, but at the same time, you never know.
that's a body language thing though.
Exactly.
Because if I'm just walking through the parking lot with my family, if I, meet eyes with somebody from across the parking lot, okay, whatever. That's a pretty typical thing. We're social creatures. That's, that's fairly normal. If I, continue to walk for a little bit and then they catch my eye again,
Yeah.
that's sending off some bells. That's not a typical thing. right?
Leonardo DiCaprio moment there. At first you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Exactly. Things that get me in specifically while driving is I've just learned to assume. So, you know how when you're driving in, you have that row of parked cars. If I see a
Mm-hmm.
little cavity there behind a vehicle, I almost always assume that has a vehicle in it of some sort,
100%.
whether that's a sedan or a little Honda Civic or a motorcycle that's gonna zip right out right, right as I
Mm-hmm.
go to crest it, just because it happens too much,
Yeah.
right? So always expecting the unexpected, assuming that someone's going to be parked somewhere that you can't always see. Like you said, always
Right.
looking for the lights, the reverse lights, brake lights, everything. And for me, especially kids, just assuming that
Oh,
if I can't see
yes.
past a vehicle, that there's going to be a kid behind there that doesn't know any better, who's not minding his mama, and he's going
Mm-hmm.
to bump right out in front of my car
Yep.
because those little suckers are fast.
I just kind of assume that like anybody I see in a parking garage is not paying attention and they're stupid.
It's the safest way to do it. And something that I see a lot of people do that I would warn against is don't freaking fly through, you know,
Oh my God, why?
through driveways or parking areas. It's obnoxious to go 5 miles an hour, right? But you like even if you assume that no one's there, you don't see anybody on side vehicles or anything, it's going to be to your detriment if something does happen and you're blowing in at like 20, 30 miles an hour. It makes no sense. You know, move cautiously,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're in a you are in a scenario, you're in an environment where there are greater chances of something happening, so you need to act accordingly there. What about parking?
Okay, so there's a lot to go that goes into this. My mindset usually when I come to a parking spot, if I have the opportunity to back in, I'm going to
mm,
because I want to be able to, if something goes wrong, I want to be able to get in my car and just pull out and go. And if someone pulls in front of me, well, they're gonna have a bad day if I'm either way, if I'm dinner pulled in, like they're gonna have a bad day because I'm gonna slam that car into them, plain
mm.
and simple, or just pinch them between my car and the car next to me and just rip their body in half as I pull out.
Well, and even if you are completely blocked in, you have a greater area of view
Mm-hmm.
because you carry a firearm,
Exactly.
as opposed to having to deal with the back seat, back windshield, all that nonsense.
Exactly. And when you park, take a look around you. Like most of the time, people are
Hmm.
just going to park and get out of the car and be whatever. But if you notice, just notice what's going on around you. People walking up suddenly that you didn't notice before, or just cars pulling up and taking their sweet time kind of thing. Just keep your eyes open. And if you can, when you're parking, park close to like the door, the elevator, the stairs,
A
the
light source.
exit. Yes, park in a well lit area.
Hmm.
Good lord.
Be wary of the vehicles that you park by,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I am not ever going to be parking next to a Sprinter van ever,
Oh, oh no, no.
but things like vehicles that stand out, that trust your gut on everything, right? So don't put yourself in situations where you don't have to, right? So if you are in a parking lot and at the very end of the parking lot there's a Sprinter van parked by nothing else, don't park by the Sprinter van.
Right.
If you are with your wife or your husband or with children, right, be cognizant of where you're parking, right? Give yourself extra space. Don't park by vehicles that don't give you a good feeling. Go through these thought processes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you're parking, don't linger. You parked, you're there for a reason. Park, keep your eyes up or your head up, eyes open, and then go. Don't park and then sit on your phone or sit and mess with your bag or sit and don't just linger in your vehicle either when you're when you just get somewhere or when you're leaving. That's increasing your time in that parking space. That's just inviting more opportunity for something to happen. And
One
especially if you're on your phone, you're not being situationally aware.
Hmm.
Someone can walk up on your blind spot, or a vehicle can come out, or insert the blank.
Right.
But we've become way, way too comfortable inside of our vehicles, seeing that it's our own little safe haven when they are not.
Yeah. And also, parking lots are, according to the FBI, the third most likely place people will encounter violent crime.
Hmm.
Between 2010 and 2020, 45,107 incidents were reported. That was just reported.
Yeah. So think about it, right. So trafficking in persons, right? Human trafficking. That's not talking about domestic abuse. That's not talking about road rage incidents. That's not talking about theft, right? So all of these apply. If you go into a CQB course or a vehicle CQB course, they'll talk about the deadly triangle, not
Oh
getting
my
caught
God.
right in the nook of your of your door. So these things are better avoided. You have a 2,000 pound object that will get you where you need to go. Don't stick around for a fight if you don't have to.
Right.
Okay. And something, so especially parking, this been, I've been asked this with my wife. We've gotten questions on the podcast, but specifically when you are, leaving your vehicle or you're getting back to your vehicle with children
Oh,
or with people who require your assistance. If you are alone, I wish there was a good way. I wish there was a good way, but I don't know of one. Best thing I can tell you is to be quickly about it and to be
yes.
situationally aware. This has to go into your, forward planning, right, with your parking situation. So if you are, if you park, you do everything right, you go into your store, do your thing, come back, and then, there's a sprinter van right next to your vehicle on the driver's side or the passenger side.
Nope.
You don't have to go to the vehicle right then.
Nope.
You can talk to a manager in the store or a security officer in the store or a police officer if you see them. You can ask somebody, that you trust. Once again, use your gut to help you out.
And
Or something
honestly,
simple as being on the phone talking to somebody, you
if you
know?
don't if you don't feel safe and you just let the store or a gym work,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, go back in. Go back
Yeah,
in. Nobody's going to get mad at you for asking them to walk you to your car.
exactly. I guarantee you can go up to a manager at a store, some, middle-aged dude and be like, hey, I was going back to my car and there's a big van parked next to it that sketches me out. Can you walk me out to my car? Can, you have security walk me out to my car? They'd be more than happy to help you out because they want to keep you safe, right?
And
So,
honestly, if you run into that incident where there is like a van or a vehicle parked next to your car oddly or even way too close, call the cops.
yeah.
That's probably the biggest red flag you can have is if somebody is parked so close to your car that they force you to get in one direction,
Mm,
call the cops
you're being
immediately.
canalized.
Don't even go to it. Don't even go near it. Call the cops.
Yeah.
Report exactly where it is, what it looks like, what's going on, and they will come
Mm-hmm.
because chances are you've been targeted. And there's a lot of other red flags too. Um, I've heard of, and I didn't mean for this to turn into like the human trafficking stuff, but sometimes you will see markers or innocuous objects attached to your car. So
Mm.
I've heard
Yeah, I've heard of
of
that too.
zip ties being attached to the door handles. That's a mark. That's a signal to someone that you are a mark for human trafficking, that you're going to get followed. So if you see something like that, that's an issue,
I've
and you need
also
to take
heard
steps.
of notes being put under windshields or on door
Hmm.
handles that causes you to spend more time outside of your vehicle
Or
because
they've
you go
been
to
laced
open
with
the
something.
note or they've been laced with something or, whatever. But this also going back to, like specifically if you have children, right? So, no matter what else you have in the cart, you need to focus on your children first, right?
Hmm.
And I know that they take all of your attention, but you need to be situationally aware,
Yep.
regardless of if your kid's screaming at you or throwing a fit. Turn that off in your head. Turn it off. You have to be aware. You need to be safe for your people. Never leave children in the car if you're going to go replace a cart. Whatever. But this is also why we always push gun ownership
Hmm.
and being well armed and being protected, because we know that these I'm not going to call them people, these animals are targeting our women and children because they're perceived as easier targets,
Hmm.
less, not as threats. So make yourself a threat, right? Is far too much for you to be neglecting this.
Right.
But parking in a well lit, preferably uh, well populated area, right? So good indicators are if you see families, if you see the elderly, things like that, park in that area, you're on the right track there.
Yep.
Giving yourself a little bit more space around, not parking right up next to vehicles. Uh, you can park next to streetlights that have the cement base, so someone can't park right up next to your vehicle. Whether or not they're being malicious, but affording yourself more space, especially next to like the car corrals. Those are great places because no one wants to get their car banged up.
Hmm.
And trying to be smart about where and when you're driving and parking somewhere, right? So Walmart at 2 in the morning isn't as good of a bet as Walmart at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
You
So
know, a good quote from How I Met Your Mother is nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
there you go. Go to sleep.
Go home.
Go home. All right. Do you have anything else for parking? I'm just in my mind. I'm thinking of like that 5 meters around the vehicle, trying to set yourself up for success there.
So, how about this one? When you get out of your car, remember where you parked.
Yes. Yes.
How distracted do you see a lot of people who are wandering around, looking aimlessly around in the parking lot trying to? We were at Target the other day, and I literally watched this chick walking down this, just walking down one of these aisles. She's looking to her left, and I'm like, if I was on your right, you're mine. I'm
That's
gonna
so
grab you and throw you
scary.
in this van. Like I hate to think that way, but it's like I think
That
what
is
would
so
they do?
scary. Yeah.
And she's just wandering in between cars looking for a car. It's like I get that it happens sometimes, but that is bad. That is really, really, really bad.
Man. So another story, not quite on the same vein, but we went to Chick-fil-A for a lunch date with a friend of ours, right?
Hmm.
It was just her and her child that time. I think hubby was working, but we got done. We were all going back to our vehicles. I was doing my dad thing, watching everything and everybody, and we were getting the kids in the car, and we had parked right next to her, opposite end, right? And so I was keeping an eye on her and her situation, and I saw this homeless woman come up to her.
Oh no.
And so I immediately stopped putting my grocery away. I'm just watching, just keeping eyes on. And she's a social worker, right? So this woman starts to talk to her, and she's engaging, and then she, is reaching into her car to get, like portfolios and just like different resources and that sort of thing. I'm like, you are standing outside of your vehicle with your child that you just put in. Your car is off. You haven't loaded your groceries yet, and you're reaching into your, like, you have a stranger. You have no idea who this person is. And I'm like, please tell me you don't do this when someone's not watching your back. Like, this just like, and I love where her heart's at. And, this is her passion. This is her career. This is her heart, right? Taking care of people. But goodness, man, take care of yourself. Take care of your family too.
Shout out critter. Um, so I'm glad that you do this. I was wondering if I wasn't the only one. Like if I'm in my car and I hate to say it, if I identify somebody that's probably could be a target, do you watch them? Like not like, creepy like, but like just kind
You
of
keep an
keep
eye
an
out
eye
for
on
them.
them. Yeah, I do that all the time. Like if I'm walking through Like, of course, I'm watching out for myself, watching out for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting our stuff done, getting in the car and going. But I'm also just like, there's a there's a chick. She's got a kid. She's putting groceries away. I'm gonna watch her all the way to the car because I mean, if something bad happens, I'm gonna feel bad. But
That's the old school. I'm gonna walk you home.
100%.
Like, we are men. I firmly believe that this is our duty, right? It costs you nothing to do that.
100%.
If you are a man listening to this, it costs you nothing to look out for the single woman, to the elderly, to the kid, for the kids, for all these people who you identify as being weaker or more vulnerable than you are. It costs you nothing to look out for them while you're going about your daily life.
Yeah. And
It
you may
is
be
a hundred
perceived as
percent
like
your
as being on the opposite end. They may perceive you as being a threat or like whatever, but
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
and
time, it's just like,
don't beam people down, but keep an eye
right,
out. You have to take that responsibility of keeping a higher level of awareness.
don't be a creep.
Don't be a weirdo, but look at, like, you know going back to our values, right? You treat people as your brothers and sisters, right? Take care of people. If I were off working and my wife was out running groceries, I would want my buddy to keep an eye on her if he saw her in the parking lot to make sure that she got to her car safe.
Hmm.
I'd want that for my kids. I'd want that for, I do that for my buddy and his kids. Like, this should be a implied task. This should be a natural thing. You shouldn't have to think about this. You should just do it.
Right.
But moving on. So we touched on this a little bit. So walking to and from your vehicle,
Okay.
right?
So,
So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Don't be walking on your phone. Head
oh,
up,
100%.
eyes open, as with anything. Okay, you're looking out for vehicles, you're looking out for people, you're looking out for environmental hazards. But something specifically, as a parent, that I do is, my boy's either holding my hand, my wife's hand, or he's holding onto the cart. Something.
Yep.
And he does not let that go until we get to the vehicle, in which case his little, tiny 4-year-old hand goes on the gas cap.
Interesting.
And he parks it there until I can get his door open and he can, hop into his car seat.
So what happens
But
with the what happens when you have a kid who isn't that size? You know, isn't trained to do that kind of thing. Helpless newborn
carry them,
essentially.
carry them.
Yeah.
Same thing with the 4-year-old. If he's going to be obstinate, like, he's my boy, right? If
Hmm.
he's going to be obstinate, he's like, I don't want you holding her. All right, well, you can be carried. That's the rule. In parking lots, big or small, in parking lots, whether there's cars in them or not, that is a house rule. You carry mom or dad's hand as we're walking through parking lots, or you're carried, or you're in the cart.
That's good.
That's just a rule for us. We actually got the idea for, like, putting your little hand on the gas cap from our buddies. They do that with their
Yeah.
little girl. But
So
especially with kids, you need to, you have to have control of them.
so if you're by yourself, you don't have kids, uh, some things that I recommend doing is having your keys ready.
Mm,
Like, don't wait until you get up to the car to go for your keys because you're fumbling around. You're distracted at that point, trying to find your keys, trying to get in. Especially if you have a manual key, then you have to put
yes.
it in, turn it, and then get in.
Hmm.
Have your keys ready ahead of time. Have them in your hand. You know, do you ever want to get punched by someone who has a key in their hand? It doesn't feel good.
I was gonna say, so that's how my wife grew up. Her granddad taught her to hold her. He was a
Hmm.
old retired police dude, but he taught her to hold her keys in her fist.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a
Just,
fob, have your freaking finger on the fob, ready to
hmm.
go. Unlock button or the alarm if you need it.
The alarm, yeah, yeah. Especially alarm. If you're worried about a certain area, for guys that are trying to do, not good business, sound, being drawn attention to something, that's the enemy. So,
Hmm.
that's a really great tool. Something
Yeah.
else that I bought for me and my wife are the little keychain things of pepper spray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
non-lethal, but you're not gonna have a good time. And that's something that
Yeah.
you can have on ready to go. You don't have to think about it. Just, you're set.
Another great deterrent, and I don't know if anybody's ever thought of this, a gun. Those are freaking great.
But
Those
you
are
can't,
great deterrent.
or I say can't. You probably shouldn't be spraying that through a parking lot though.
Well, no, you shouldn't be spraying and praying.
Now, if you're being attacked, screw you, off it goes.
Yeah.
But
Judicial marksmanship right there.
yeah, but I was just saying the little
Hmm.
keychain pepper spray. That's something that you can have all the time. Doesn't matter. You can go to church. You can go to Target, wherever. No one's gonna say anything.
Oh, 100%.
You have that all the time.
Yeah, pepper spray is a great deterrent. I actually recommend for, and I'm not trying to say this from a position of toxic masculinity, but all females should have pepper spray. You just should. I mean, even if you can like bench press 800,000 pounds, carry pepper spray because at
Hmm.
some point, some douchebag's gonna view you as a target, and they're gonna try to come after you. And honestly, better safe than sorry. You spray them in the eyes, they're not gonna have a good time, and then you can just like rip their testicles off if you want to. Have fun with it.
So I
Anyway,
was just, in my head, I was just playing Weasel Stomping Day from Weird Al. I don't know why that came up when you were talking about pulling off people's testicles, but here we are.
oh man, that's so great. So anyway, when you're walking back to your car, like we were talking about, have your keys out, be ready to go. When you get in the car, get in, shut the door, don't get on your
Lock,
phone.
lock
Lock
it.
your car.
Lock your car.
Lock your car.
Lock your car. Lock it.
And before you even get in,
And
if you have the time, check around your vehicle.
mm-hmm.
Make if you have a flat tire, red flag. You may have ran over a nail, but still, you should be like, what the hell?
And I'm gonna say again, don't hang out.
Mm-hmm.
You get in your car, you lock the door, you leave. Because I can't tell you how many people I see go, walking the HEB parking lot, Target, wherever I am, someone is on, just zoning on their phone.
Yes.
Head down, cars off, or just in park, just hanging out, checking out their phone. Nothing for who knows how long.
That's how you
You
walk out in front
you're
of a car and get hit.
Well, I'm just saying, like in their car, just sitting there, like that.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And
That
like you
too.
said, yeah, they could pull off and not even think about it, hit you, but that's you're begging for somebody to just walk up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Phones are the death of situational awareness, 100%.
Oh yeah, 100 million% yes. So I'm talking about scanning your area when you're going out there. I mean, when we
Right.
were in as dismounts on vehicles, we were trained to get out and scan your 0, 5, 10, 15, 25, 50, 100 yards. You're looking for signs of danger and flat tires, vehicles
Landmines,
parked.
all signs of danger.
If you have a landmine next to your car, you got bigger issues. Um, you're checking for flat tires. You're checking for vehicles parked too close to you or vehicles that look out of it a little suspicious. You're
Hmm.
I would recommend if you can, as you're walking up at a distance, look underneath your car. I've
Hmm.
heard stories about people who have hidden underneath cars
My gosh. Yeah.
and taken advantage of the situation. Look in your backseat. Dear God, look in your backseat. Don't blindly trust that your car is locked and safe. Look in your backseat. I, dude, I'm 208 pounds. I check my backseat
You
every
can be
time I walk
strangled
up to the
just as
car.
easy as anybody else.
100%.
Something else that I just thought of for vehicles. So not just make, not just model, not just, whether or not they look normal in the area, but little things about a vehicle, right? So looking for the little paper license plates that someone could just print off and throw
Oh my.
on a vehicle. Looking at tint for a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 2% tint, you can't see anything in there. I don't like that.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, little things that can give you, follow your gut on a lot of this stuff.
Or, if you're a vet, you know what I'm talking about here. If you're driving down the road and you see a freaking pool guy with a bunch of yellow bottles on the back end of it, that might get your dander up a little bit too. A little tangent there, but
Anyway,
anyway. So yeah,
If you see a coyote tan Toyota Tacoma with "Don't Tread on Me" and a Blue Lives Matter sticker on the back, you're probably safe. Shouldn't have to worry about that.
maybe, unless it's a ruse.
They're more of a threat to themselves than anything.
Hey everybody, this is 6 and 7 with the Hard Time Strongman podcast, and we are coming to talk to you about our Patreon and Discord.
Hey guys, our patrons get early access to all of our episodes. They get all of our exclusive pre and post shows, all of our spicy takes, all of our rabbit holes that we go on, everything that we want to include in an episode, but we can't because we need to stay on topic. And soon enough, we will be offering digital downloads, guides, everything that we've been working on in the background will soon be available to our patrons. So make sure to check it out.
And come hang out with us on Discord. Speaking of the spicy stuff, this is where we discuss most of it. Once you're there, you'll get access to all of our in-depth discussions, including stuff like homesteading, fieldcraft, medical, camping, communications, shooting. You like ARs? Come talk to us about it. You like 4x4 vehicles and prepping? Come talk to us about it.
You like tannerite, thermite, napalm? Come talk to us about it. All of the campfire talks that would get us kicked off of other platforms, it's right there in our Discord. Come join our community.
We're active on Discord every day. We're interacting with members constantly. We have guys from every walks of life coming to contribute their expertise to all of these various fields and subjects that we've been talking about.
Come join the Discord. Come join the Discord. Join our community. Build up that better class of man. Now back to the episode.
But yeah, like you said, when you get in your car, lock the doors. Don't sit there on your phone. Get out of there. Just leave. I don't care who you are. You have better things to do with your life than sit in a parking lot on your phone. Go home. Go see your family.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
And cars have I don't even know how they do, but they have the psychological equivalent of putting you on an island. Because as soon as you get into the driver's seat and close the door, it's like you're in your own little bubble. But you're not. Your bubble still exists in the greater world around you. Mm-hmm. So, I know that your field of view just shrinks down to what's in the cab of your vehicle, but you can't allow that to happen. You need to keep awareness on you and what's around you.
Yep.
So we touch on this here and there throughout the last couple bullet points, but safety and security in these parking structures, right? So
rule number 1: carry a gun.
Always. You should always be carrying a gun.
Anyway.
I don't think you have a good excuse not to. Anyway. Well, no, we are. I don't really have anything else for that. Do you have anything else for safety and security? I was about to go into something, but I was going to rehash everything that we essentially already talked about.
So just to kind of rehash and to touch on the elephant in the room, trust your gut. Mm-hmm. If you feel like something's wrong, if something seems completely off, if the hairs on the back of your head are standing on end, trust it. If your gut is screaming at you to run the other way, don't shrug it off. Just do it. Something's wrong. Like if something seems wrong, something is wrong, period. I don't care if it's not. Trust your gut. It will keep you alive. It will keep you safe. Mm-hmm. Just get whatever help you need, whether it's if you're at the Publix down the street, you just got your groceries and you're walking out, something feels wrong, go back in, get somebody. Mm-hmm. Have them be like, hey, I need help getting my stuff in my car. If you're at a grocery store, chances are they're asking you if you need help out to your car. Just take it.
Yeah.
If you have your hands full, if you have a kid and you're alone in a cart full of groceries, just take it. I don't care if you're able-bodied enough to do it. Keep yourself safe.
Yeah. So that being aware of your surroundings, just all the time, what time of day it is, the people and the vehicles that are around your vehicle, the depth and space between vehicles, just all these little things that should be, pinging in your head. You need to be keeping an eye out for all this stuff. But
remember where you parked.
Yeah, remember where you parked.
I can't stress that enough. Remember where you parked.
And also, so saying that you even did all this right, but then, something happens, some weirdo in a vehicle or out of a vehicle, comes up on your vehicle, you're inside of it. Okay. A lot, a lot of reactions I've seen in videos or otherwise is people, just freaking out in their
Freezing.
vehicle and they're staying still. You are in a 2,000 pound hunk of steel and glass.
A weapon.
Move it.
Mm-hmm.
Move it. Your car, I don't care how expensive it is, I don't care how much the loan is on it, how much your payment is not as important as your life. So
Your life
use the
is worth
vehicle.
more than that.
Yeah, use the vehicle and leave.
And I hate
Right?
to.
If these guys are targeting you, right? They are relying on speed, surprise, and violence of action because that's going to freeze up or circumvent most people in most situations. So you need to act.
If you can take away at least one of those things from them, they have lost the initiative.
Hmm. And they aren't expecting a fight. These guys aren't expecting a fight more often than
Mm-hmm.
not. They are not expecting a fight. So if you put up enough of a fight, loud enough, violent enough, dogged enough, they're going to give up and they're going to leave.
If you cause a scene, holy crap. Cause a scene. Be loud. Scream. Yell for help. Fight
Hmm.
back. Throw stuff at them.
Hmm.
Whatever you get your hands on.
And arming yourself, like you said. So your
Mm-hmm.
groceries, you have some glass in there, right? If not, you have mass and speed.
Yep.
Go ahead and do the math on that one. Your keys, pepper spray, if you have that on your keys, hopefully you have a firearm. I mean, you, yeah,
The human body is allergic to lead poisoning. I'm just going to say it.
yeah. But so that's all things you can do. Things that I would stay away from. So as much as humanly possible, do not, like I said, hang around your vehicle, whether inside it or outside of it. Avoid places at night. There's a reason why we see upticks at the nighttime. It's because that's the time to be attacked. Your awareness is lower. There's less risk of you being observed by good Samaritans or otherwise, right? So avoid parking in a big place at night. Avoid parking way off alone. Safety numbers kind of thing there. Stay in well lit areas, and just be smart. Think these things through. Do not be on autopilot. I can't tell you how easy it is to go on autopilot when you're trudging through the 9 to 5.
Guilty. I do it too often.
Yeah, but get off autopilot and think through your actions and subsequent effects after that.
Keep your awareness up. If someone puts something in your door handle, don't touch it. Find something to knock it out with, or go back inside and get somebody.
Yeah,
Like
For,
it could be
and
something innocuous. It could be a flyer. It could be something, but there is a good chance that that could be something that marks you, or could be laced with something that it gets absorbed through the skin. Just be safe.
yeah, and we've preached this in other episodes, but community, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't know the manager of the store or the security officer or whatever, rely on
Mm-hmm.
people. Ask for help. You do not have to do everything on your own.
We will help you. If it's the gym employees will help you too.
Yeah, and not just employees at a store. And I feel wary putting out guidance to, like, just grab some Joe Schmo, you know in the parking lot, because that could be a bad actor too.
Yeah.
But with anything, use your gut. But like we said earlier in the episode, guys, is your responsibility to take care of people. Period. And I'm telling you right now, if some 20 something mama with 2 kids is struggling to get out to her car, and she sees me and my wife walking our kids to the car, and she says, hey, I don't really, that car that's parked by us is kind of freaking me out. Can you guys walk with me? Of course, of course, we would love to.
Yep.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for people. Take care of people, and let people take care of you.
Yep.
So something else that you threw in here to report suspected human trafficking to federal law enforcement. You dial 1-866-347-2423
Or dial 911.
or dial 911.
That's always an option.
Just
And
carry a
above,
gun. Just carry a gun. I'm
okay,
going to say it again.
yeah,
Carry a gun. Carry a firearm. Get trained with it. Know how to use it. Don't be afraid to use it.
the response time of a 9mm is vastly superior to the response time of local law enforcement. Just going to throw it out there.
1,000%. Brother, you have anything else for this?
I got nothing, man. This was a good episode. I'm sorry it took a turn for the human trafficking, but like that's been in the news so much that like I feel like it really needed to be touched on.
Yeah, I'm not sorry for talking about it because I feel like it's not talked about enough. I feel like people aren't aware enough or taking enough, steps in the right direction.
Mhm.
This is it's a stain on our society, and it's a problem that is far far too prevalent. So
Unfortunately, yes.
yeah,
But
so take care of yourself,
no,
take care of others. But I don't have anything else, guys. We are the Hard Time Strong Men podcast, cheering up a better class of man.
stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight. Hey guys, this is 6 and 7 with the Hard Time Strongman podcast. Wanted to take a second to do a mental health check in and to tell you all about the 988 Crisis Lifeline. So, the 988 Lifeline is a national network of local crisis centers that provides free and confidential emotional support to people in suicidal crisis or emotional distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the United States. You can reach the Lifeline at 988lifeline.org, or you can call or text 988 to get help, to get someone real on the phone.
Every struggle is different. Every struggle is hard, but you are not alone in whatever you're going through. As someone who has used the 988 crisis line, I fully recommend that if you're feeling any of those feelings of depression, suicide, hopelessness, get in touch with them immediately. They will help you. They will listen to you.
Once again, guys, you can reach the Lifeline at 988lifeline.org, or you can call or text them at 988. As always, guys, stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight.